boldness that you gain after speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our show, Where is the Love? I am your host, and I am Stephne Hawkenholm. And here to join me is my co host, my son, Gene Williams.
Good day, mate.
Hey, son.
How you doing?
I'm loving that theme song there. That's dope.
I know. Thanks to you and your band. This is so tell us the name of your band and tell us how you wrote this theme song for us. Tell us a little bit about that song.
For sure. All right, so it'd definitely be my pleasure. So you gave me the idea. You were like, you wanted a theme song for the show. And my band and I, G Wiz and the Solar System, I sat down like literally that day and used some of the keywords and phrases that you sent me as an idea, about where to go with the song. So that song in particular is called "Fake People." Obviously, all my music is based off of real life experiences. So it was just an opportunity for me to kind of speak to, how people, treat you badly and fake like they love, like second verse. People act like they love you and as if they're on your side, but then they're throwing stones in their hands they hide. So, it's like they act like they love you. They put on the front or the facade of love, and then they stab you in the back. So, it's just kind of addressing that, the whole bullying crisis, just across the world, honestly. And like I said, it was just an opportunity for me to have, a chance to speak to the things that we speak about on this show. So I thank you for challenging me. Thank you for challenging us to create that theme song. So thank you.
My pleasure. So I was a radio host for a community radio station for about 2 years, and I had a theme song. And so when we started doing the show, I was like, I need a theme song. And I was like, Gene and his band can write a song. And then so then I talked to you, and then the rest is what you said. The rest is history. So thank you to you and G Wiz and the Solar System.
We had fun.
Yeah, I love that song. And so I have to tell this little bit. Gene and I, we put this together last week. Put the whole thing together, the video and the music. And then I did what I could, just like I did with the lyrics of the song. And then I had to get some help. So we had the rest of it put together and made it all better and made it crisp and all of that. So I'm very grateful for all the help that I've gotten. Thanks to Curtis Brooks for fixing it up, spicing it up, getting it together for me. I got to give him his props. I tried, I started, did what I could, and he had to hook it up. And just like Gene, had to hook up the music. I do what I can, and then I'm done.
Right.
So we are happy about being able to bring information to you about bullying and versus love, because we've experienced bullying, and we see it a lot. And as I look in the news, excuse me, as I look in the news for bullying articles and bullying news, I see so much in there, and it's just so ridiculous, the things that I see. I mean, it's like now that we're talking about it, it seems to me to be hyped up more. And I guess it's maybe because people are talking about it more, and not Some are still, sweeping it under the rug. Oh, it's okay, and making excuses for the behavior of bullying when we need to not push it under the rug and not ignore it, but address it because people are killing people. People
Or
are killing,
themselves.
yes, and committing homicide and suicide due to the anger and the frustration behind bullying. So we're happy to be able to share information with you and to have discussions about bullying versus love. And no one wants to be just treated any kind of way. We all want to be, want people to treat. We want people to treat us right. So we have to treat people the way we want to be treated. And then when they're not treating us the way we want to be treated, we have to say something. We can't just act like it's not happening. Oh, maybe they'll stop. No, you have to say something to the person in order for them to stop. So, again, we're happy to be bringing this information to you. Gene, you want to add anything?
Yeah, actually, thank you for you asking because so one thing I've noticed in situations like this is when a person begins to set boundaries, that's when chaos begins. Like when you
Yes.
allow people to treat you like they want to, things are fine. But as
Right.
soon as you create boundaries and you stand by those very firmly, then they begin to act as if you're the problem.
Right.
That's crazy. So I think one thing that we need to talk about, and we discussed this on the sidelines, but eventually talk about like um, borderline personality disorders, narcissism, things of that nature, and we'll get there. I know we will, but
Yes, we will.
it, yeah, it's definitely a problem. People again, people just think they can treat you like whatever, and you don't have the right to speak up for yourself. Like
Right.
what? What? I don't
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So
think it's
as long
important though to
that,
understand that when you set boundaries with people, there's going to be a strong pushback.
yes.
Expect it.
Yes.
Expect it, and keep your boundaries firm regardless.
Yep.
You deserve as much respect as anybody else does. So don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't deserve respect.
Right. Speak up and stand your ground. Because you're gonna they people gonna try to keep knocking you down. They're gonna keep trying you to see, do you really mean this? I mean, you've been letting me do this for so long. So now, I gotta keep, checking to see if, do you really mean what you say? So
Right.
yes, you have to speak up. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You have to. It's a
Yep.
must. So you want to add anything else?
I'm good now. Ready to go.
All right, so let's do a recap of last week's show. So last week we had Curtis Brooks on the show again for the second time, and he was addressing pain. So, and we were so excited about the information that he shared before. And I've said it on the last three shows, and today is the third time that I'll say this. Gene um, and his questions, he has great questions for all of our articles and all of our videos, and he's a great questionnaire.
Mhm.
But he asked Curtis on the spot to formulate a 5-step plan for addressing pain, and Curtis did. So last week he delved into those five tips for the 5-step plan, and he shared a story for each um, of the five plans. I'm not going to say what the five plans are because I've said it, on the last two shows. Um, and so, just want to say again, thanks to Curtis for coming on our show. Thanks for creating that 5-step plan. Thanks for for elaborating on each of those steps. We appreciate you, and we greatly appreciated the information that you provided. You want to add anything, Gene?
No, I definitely want to echo that. We absolutely appreciate it. Um, and check out his page on Facebook and Instagram because I believe that he went a step further and made a post about the 5 steps that he put together. So check him out. It's not rocket science coaching.
Yes.
Yeah, on IG and on Facebook. So again, go check him out, Curtis Brooks.
Thank you. That's good. All right. So now we have done our recap for last week's show, which we do every week. Go back and watch last week's video, episode 8, to hear more about the him addressing pain part 2, and then listen to video episode 6 to hear the initial conversation and how that got sparked. So now we want to talk about workplace bullying. We've been talking a lot about children experiencing bullying, and mostly in schools. Um, a few well, one of the articles specifically I remember wasn't um, at school; it was at home. But we have talked a lot about children experiencing bullying. So children aren't the only ones that experience bullying. Adults experience bullying. They experience bullying in relationships. So at home, at church, at work. I've experienced workplace bullying a lot. That's most of where my experiences have been. Well, I've been saying that for a long time, but when I think back in my relationships, with family members, friends. Um, so I've experienced bullying in a lot of areas. So today we want to bring an article to you about workplace bullying. We want to share this article with you, and then we're going to have a discussion about it. So, Mark, we're ready for the article. I'm going to read the article to you, and then Jean and I are going to discuss it. Jean always asks me questions about the video or the article, and then we, have a discussion about it to help you get more information about bullying and help you to understand more about bullying. So we're ready, Mark. Okay, so this happened in Memphis, Tennessee, and it happened last October. So it was less than a year ago, but because it is about workplace bullying, I wanted to um, go ahead and use this article as our first workplace bullying um, article. So, a U.S. Postal Service letter carrier who shot a manager and supervisor before killing himself inside a Tennessee postal facility was not a violent person and was being bullied at work by his superiors, his mother said Thursday. Tracy Haley told the Associated Press that her 28-year-old son, Jontra Haley, was the person who shot 2 Postal Service co-workers Tuesday at a sorting facility in Memphis. She said her son had called her and told her he was being bullied by his bosses. He was a church-going person. It's just the people at the job was bullying him, she said. My son went to that job faithfully every day, worked long hours, comes home stressed because they're talking to him any kind of way. Haley spoke to an AP journalist at the apartment complex where her son lived as postal inspectors took the wait a minute. Haley spoke to an AP journalist at the apartment complex where her son lived as postal inspectors took the man's sister aside for questioning. The inspectors declined comment. She says she feels sorry for the families of the victims and apologized to them. Station manager James Wilson Jr. and customer service supervisor Demetria Dorch were killed, according to Shry Green, an area vice president with the National Association of Postal Supervisors. In a news release Thursday afternoon, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service said Haley shot Wilson and Dorsch with a gun he bought in 2017, then killed himself. Haley was hired in July of this year, and there were no reports of complaints filed against him with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Wilson was 47 years old and had been with the Postal Service since 2001, officials said. Dorsch, 37, had been with the Postal Service since 2015. Law enforcement authorities did not respond to inquiries about the bullying accusations. The Associated Press has been unable to reach the victim's family for their comment. Friends of Dorsch have posted messages on social media calling her a good friend and great supervisor. Wilson was described in a local media as a humble soul, one of the nicest supervising managers who could ever wish there was, who you could ever wish there was, by his cousin, postal worker Roxanne Rogers. Green told the AP on Wednesday that she did not know the motive, but obviously something was going on in the carrier's mind. She said it was Haley's second day working at the sorting facility and it was not his normal assignment. It's a sign of the times, Green said, noting that the COVID-19 pandemic has led to more work absences and the hiring of new employees whose, who, whose need for training causes more stress. The Postal Service altogether, they're working long hours, 6 or 7 days a week. It's just stressful. In another interview Thursday, Green said she could not comment on the specific bullying accusations and could not speak for the Postal Service, where she worked for 38 years before retiring. But she noted that the Postal Service has a policy against workplace bullying and does not condone it. Meanwhile, Tracy Haley said Jantra had a son and enjoyed spending time with him, playing video games at home and going out with his girlfriend. Jantra Haley was expecting another child, she said. We're almost done. Tracy Haley says she has buried her deceased husband this year and now has to bury her son. I'm not doing good at all, she said. It's ridiculous. These jobs need to learn to train people to give people respect when you're working for them. So that is our article. This is the first time I've read an article word for word. I didn't get to paraphrase this article, but I guess obviously you can take it down, Mark. I guess obviously it all needed to be read because workplace bullying is a real issue. Um, and it's really tough for people we have to go to work to survive. We have to make money to survive. So we have to go to work. And we're at work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, at least most, people. So that's like a second home during the week. So to go to work and to already be stressed out maybe about work or things that are happening at work or your personal life is tough. But again, we got to go to work. You want to add anything, Gene?
Yeah, I was gonna say not only just stress about work, you got stress from life. The fact that you have to go to work, that doing something that you may not necessarily enjoy, but you got to do it to make money, to take care of yourself and your family and whoever else depends upon you. So it's really a loaded situation.
Yeah. So according to the article, I'm going to pick a few pieces out of the article. So people that are bullied by others may not be violent, but they get fed up like everyone else. When someone gets pushed around enough, they may respond or react in a way that you've never seen them act before. Usually, when the person that's being bullied reacts, the bully and maybe others may say, they're crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them. I'm laughing because it happens. But you keep pushing someone and you may see them explode. An explosion or an outburst of anger or perhaps shooting in this, case, something, you're going to get something back because they've had enough of what you're doing. But like Jean said earlier, people treat you bad. And then, when you start standing up for yourself and speaking up for yourself, then you're the crazy one. Something's wrong with you, you know.
That's how it
But
goes.
no, I'm creating my boundaries and letting you know this ain't the way this is gonna go no more at all.
Facts.
So my thing is, if you don't like somebody, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Treat
Really
other people
simple.
the way you want to be treated. What'd you say, Gene?
So it's really simple. If you don't like somebody, leave them alone.
Right, right. So, you want to go ahead and ask me the questions?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So this is obviously a case of a person who was fed up with the way that they were treated. Workplace bullying is very common in America and internationally, unfortunately, especially in the postal service industry. Hence the colloquialism, going postal. Um, so, what's been your personal experience with workplace bullying?
So, I have had a lot of, like I said, workplace bullying experiences. I've had people talk down to me, insult me, and humiliate me, um, about my job, maybe something that I was doing. Um, I've had people, I work jobs where new people come into the company and they want specifically in the healthcare field, they want their friends to come and to be a part of the company. I'm new at this company, so I'm gonna kick all these people out that are here and were here before I came. So I want my people, my friends, to be here. So I'm just gonna kick all these people out, fire all these people, get rid of them, and bring my people in. So I've had that experience a lot. I worked one job for 5 years, and throughout the 5 years, the first 2 years I was promoted 3 times at the job, and then so after the third time, I did that position for 3 years, and then that is the first time that I experienced being pushed out of a job, so that the management, so that their friends, they could bring their friends under them. I've seen that happen a lot, but I never experienced it. And so when I experienced, this is just one experience. So when I did experience it, I got fired, and that just blew my mind because I had never gotten fired from a job, and then to experience all the things that I experienced with that leading up to that was just crazy. And so I wrote about that in my book, um, Trouble on the Inside, What's Going On. Um, I wrote about that in this book. That's one of the chapters in this book.
Hold it up for the people again.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get it. And so my name is authoress Stephanie Lynn. So I wrote about that story. And so there's a lot of details about that in this book. And you can get this book by contacting me, and I will sign this book and then I will ship it to you. Um, but that experience was the worst, well, one of the worst experiences that I've had. So in the future, we'll talk about that, more about that experience. Your next question.
All right. So, if you could create guidelines to address workplace bullying, how would you outline a program specific to that issue in the corporate realm?
So specifically, what I would do is I would ensure that every employee is educated about bullying that they're educated about the effects of bullying, and that they are educated about the future impact of bullying. And then I would make sure that this information is included in every orientation for every new employee. And then those that aren't healed from the trauma due to bullying, they I would really focus on the impact, the future impact, because um, it can lead to mental issues, is one of the things that I really, um, the reason why I really like to focus on the future impact of what bullying does to you if it's not dealt with um, in a correct way, if you're not healed from it. So that's what I would do. I would make sure everybody that comes into the business is educated about bullying, and that is a part of their orientation.
Right. Um, okay. Actually, had a thought, but I think it may take away from the question that I have later. So I'm gonna just go to my next one.
Okay.
All right. So, as an executive in a business environment, how would you address those that are under your leadership? So, in essence, how would you lead in order to keep a um, bully-free environment in the corporate realm?
Okay, so that's a great question. So, how would I lead? I constantly, and I've said this in other shows, but I constantly study the Bible. It's a daily thing for me every morning. So I'm always searching and seeking for what's in my heart. What am I doing? What am I saying? What am I doing to hurt people? What am I saying? What's wrong with me? Kind of thing. So I'm constantly looking to be healed from situations and negative situations and circumstances to make me a better person. So in doing that, that helps me to go to other people with an attitude of how can I help you, instead of how can I harm you, how can I control you, how can I bring you down to my level, how can I do some damage to you. So that helps me to create has helped me to create a toxic free environment around me. Um, and so I want to add to that, just like what I just shared about my workplace bullying experience, um, because I live my life like I just said. People would come in my office because I was in a management position. People would come in my office and close the door and share personal information with me, and they wouldn't share with the manager above me. Um, so she would ask me, what did they say to you? What were y'all talking about? And I would tell her what they talked to me about. I'm not sharing. That's between me and them. And so and I just told her that's how I live. I don't do that because people won't trust me if I share their information. And so she didn't like that. So she told them to stop stop going in Stephanie's office. But I did that, and they trusted me with their information. So that's just an example of me being in leadership and keeping myself as toxic free as I can. And then so people cultivated to that, to what I was experiencing, to my experience. So if that, I hope that makes sense.
Right. So, in essence, you're saying that you would create an environment where people felt free to come and speak to you openly and freely.
Yes. Yes.
That you would treat people as you would want to be treated.
Yep.
Um, and well, I mean, this is kind of reiterating what I already said, but creating a personal relationship between yourself and your employees.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
And so that's the evidence of when you do stuff like that, people are drawn to you. You know, your personality can be magnetic to them, and so they're drawn to you and pulling from you. I know I can trust you, and I trust what you are going to give me. I trust the information that you're going to give me. I trust that you're going to give me information to help me. That's
Right.
pretty deep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the way it was, and
Right.
that's the way it is for me. So that's how you can create a toxic free environment while in leadership, by continually looking at yourself and not pointing the finger at other people. Well, they this, well, they that. Well, what about you? Kind of like I heard Curtis in a video saying, which is what drew me to him to bring him on the show, is don't always, don't ask, why am I, um, why are they treating me this way? But why am I responding like this?
Mhm.
And so you're pointing the finger back at yourself. You're saying, what's going on with me? That I'm drawing this kind of, you know, reaction or response from people. What's going on? What do I need to see about me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a
that's
beautiful.
how I live my life. Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a beautiful approach.
Yeah.
I don't think people um internalize how important it is to constantly reflect upon, you know, not only how you are interacting with people, but the reactions that you get, and the. I mean, I'm going to use the word consequences, but it has a negative connotation. But in essence, everything that you do has an opposite reaction. Um, so in essence, like the fruit that your actions bear, you're constantly looking at that um, as a means to tune up yourself to constantly
Yes.
become a better version. Now, some people will say to perfect, but honestly, as human beings, it's not possible to be perfect. I mean,
Right.
that's actually part of our beauty,
Yes.
to learn from our flaws, our
Yes.
missteps. You know,
Yes.
it's a constant, again, self reflection, to look at yourself, see, hey, I'm attracting such and such situation. What am I doing to attract this? You know,
Right.
maybe I
Exactly.
can adjust the way I'm reacting to something, or the way, yeah, so yeah, just a constant um self check.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yet it's so true, because you're constantly, like I said, looking at yourself and how can I become a better me? What needs to be done for me to be a better me, to be able to help people become better themselves? And that's how I look at life. And I enjoy being able to help people. I hate to see people hurting. It really bothers me. Um, but I love to be able to help people. I love to be able to, whether it's in conversation or doing something for them, I always have the attitude of, how can I help you? And I had to learn that everybody does not want my help. So, because everybody does not want my help, what I had to learn is to accept the fact that everybody does not want my help, whether it's my conversation, whether it's my company, everybody don't want me. So I had to learn to live, to accept where people are, accept the rejection, which has been all my life. I Until a few weeks ago, And facilitating the trauma healing group, I have to share this. It's going away from what we're doing, but this conversation that we're having, but it's a very necessary part of what we're doing. So, for the first time in my life ever, to get rid of this rejection, what I experienced in our trauma healing group is we nailed our pains to the cross. So we wrote down our pain, spent time, asked the Lord, hey, or not hey, but I mean, we can talk to him like that because he already know how we are. But I'm just saying. So, um, we spent 20 minutes alone by ourselves, just asking, Lord, what are my pains? Focusing on those pains. So we wrote our pains down. And the very first one I wrote on my paper was rejection because I have experienced it as long as I can remember. And so that was the very first thing I put on there. We nailed our pains to the cross, to a literal wooden cross that stood tall and it was heavy. Then we took the papers off the cross and put them in a trash can and burned them. And so, as a result of that experience, that rejection, I'm cool. It took a lot of years, but I have the weight is gone. You don't accept me, you don't want me around. Okay, fine. You know, um, all that pain and that hurt that I felt for so many years, you have to learn to accept people where they are. We've talked about that before. You have to learn to accept what people want. And if you're rejected, accept it and move on. Somebody wants your help. Somebody wants the information that you have. I'm assigned to some people to help them. And so I just wanted to share that because it's just such a wonderful thing to me to not be experiencing all that and carrying around that rejection on my back and everywhere I went, when I eat, when I sleep, everything I do, rejection was following me. And now it's gone.
It's awesome. Yeah. And the important thing in that situation of all, most important situation, uh, the most important aspect of that all is you loving and accepting yourself.
Yes. And that's something I didn't accept myself. And so that's why I I took the rejection instead of taking learning how to love myself and appreciate myself and appreciate where I am in life. So yeah, it's big. It's
Yeah.
huge.
That's growth. That's growth.
Yes. Um, and we have both grown a lot in the last year. A lot of things have transpired. We have, encouraged and empowered each other with information and just loving on each other and helping each other. And that's what it's about, helping each other, treating people the way you want to be treated. That's real love. Where is the love? It's in that helping and loving, being compassionate. Um, and those things, being kind, being humble, all of those things. That's where the love is in those things.
Right.
Okay, you have another question, or you want to add to that?
No, I agree with you. I got one more question.
Okay.
So, what do you think can be done to prevent situations like this in the workplace going forward?
So I have been hearing that a lot of workplaces have bullying policies, anti-bullying policies. So I want to say, don't just have the bullying policies, adhere to them. Create a culture in the workplace that employees know that retaliation of bullying is unacceptable. It will not be tolerated and the consequences will be implemented. A lot of people won't say anything about being bullied because maybe it's their manager or their supervisor. that's doing the bullying. So out of fear, being retaliated against, or perhaps losing their job. That's all right. I'm answering the question. That was one of Gene's questions that he forgot.
Right. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot that one.
um, but by doing these things, by making sure that people are able to speak up about bullying and not being retaliated against, this helps people to understand that both bullying and retaliation due to bullying, consequences will be incurred. So keep on doing what you're doing. There's going to be some consequences. So, um, and by letting people know, the employees know what the consequences are. Okay, we created a bully and anti-bullying policy. We are going to make sure that it's adhered to. There's going to be consequences if you don't adhere to them, and if you retaliate, there's going to be consequences. And don't just say it, do it. You have to make sure that the policies are followed. So when companies and organizations implement these kinds of rules and adhere to them and pursue them, they are then creating a culture and workplace environment that can be suitable for all employees. Who wants to come to work stressed out, or I got to I got to go to work and deal with these people. So I got a headache just thinking about I got to go to work and deal with them. My stomach hurt. Uh, you know, oh my, I feel sick because my blood pressure is raised. Nobody wants to experience all that. Again, we go to work to make money, to make a living, to eat and live. And so nobody wants to be experiencing that. And that's what is caused when people know they have to go to work and deal with this, uh, either with this coworker or with the supervisor that is bullying me. So we create uh, positive and welcoming environments and cultures in the workplace when we treat other people the way we want to be treated. And when we're compassionate towards them and patient and kind. Um, those are the things we want to experience in life, period, not just at work. Want to add anything?
No, you're absolutely right. I absolutely agree with you.
So I want to say that going back to this story, the suspect committed homicide, then suicide, and remind you, I read it. He had a son, and his girlfriend was expecting another child. His mother buried her husband last year, and then she had to bury her son. All in one within a year. So that kind of thing, those kinds of things are things that happen due to the pressure of being bullied. Um, and there may have been other things going on with him. We don't know all the details. All we know is what we read. But
Right.
when you push and push and push people, something's going to happen. So I want to share the different kinds of bullying that we are aware of just from the story. So, verbal bullying, his mother said they just talk to him any kind of way. So, verbal bullying is talking negatively about someone, their weight, race, sexuality, their culture, their religion, or using demeaning language to embarrass, dominate, and humiliate another person. That's verbal bullying. And then direct bullying is this occurs between the two people involved. It usually involves hitting, kicking, or making insults, offensive and sneering comments or threats. That's direct bullying. And then overt bullying involves physical action or observable verbal actions, shouting, swearing at staff or colleagues, either in public or in private. They constantly humiliate or ridicule others, belittling them in front of others, persistent criticism or sarcasm. And then one more, social bullying. Social bullying, ignoring or leaving someone out on purpose, spreading rumors about someone, destroying relationships and friendships, embarrassing someone in public, telling lies or stories about someone to make others not like them. So those are the different types of bullying that was mentioned. Um, well, not that was mentioned, but that we saw in this story. Jean, you want to add anything?
No, you're right. I agree.
Okay, so that is our show for today. Um, we appreciate you being here with us. We want to, we always say, where is the love? So we want to share a few things. I've said some while the show was going on, but we just want to add a little more. So, where is the love? Love is compassionate, kind, Jean, add whenever you want, humility, humble, meekness,
Empathetic.
gentleness. What'd you say?
Sympathetic.
Yes. We don't have enough. Sometimes people aren't empathetic enough. So, calm and peaceful, thoughtful, caring for others more than for yourself. Um, that just means treating people the way you want to be treated, not jealous, proud, or rude. Those are some of the things about love that we want to share. When you're bullying others and controlling others and making them feel bad about themselves, bad about what they're doing, that's not love. So, again, where is the love? That's our show for today. We want to leave you with peace. We want to leave you with love. And we want to leave you with joy. Join our show next week on Sunday at 5 p.m. Sundays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time is when we're on the show. Bye for now.